49er faithfully, and me, no crypto. Just want to thank everybody for joining us. Sorry we're late on the inaugural show. Fault. Having connection issues. Yeah. What's up with everybody today?
What's up? We're
Brock
fashionably late.
I wouldn't say fashionably. That's like when you're making a statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about your time frame. I'm showing up when I wanna.
Do you have an
opposite.
indication on your side, Orion, that we're going on all channels? Because it's still not on mine.
Well, did you click it on? I don't get any indications on what side, which channels.
Never mind. Yeah, it's going on. My bad. What's up, Don?
Looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
What's up, JDLR?
What up, Don? What up, Steve-O? JDLR.
We're good. What's up, Christy?
Yep, Christy Marie.
All right, so I don't know if you guys want me to host or if Beto's hosting or.
We can just all.
Well, I thought you'd be great at kind of navigating us through. You know what I mean? Kind of figuring out what the chat's going
yelling
on.
and keeping Melissa shit in order.
In the house. Yeah,
What's
exactly.
up, Melissa? Hey, Christy. Yeah, I can do that. So, if you guys have any questions, anything you guys want us to talk about specifically, please put it in the chat, and we'll get to that.
And if the chat gets popping live, and you see something really good come up on the screen, point over to the chat, and I'll try and star it. And when talking, I'll try and bring it back up because I can star them without bringing them up and whatnot. So there's ways to save. So if you see something, just let me know.
See something, say something. You have to give us a minute because chat, this is to you, because we're using Ryan's Restream, which I'm not a fan of Restream. So this is all new to me. Like nothing back here looks familiar. So we'll run it the best that we can for now till we get used to stuff. You know how we do. A couple of things I wanted to start off with, I don't know if you guys heard or have seen it, was that there was a short little clip I had seen of, what was his name? Let me find it. I want to say Carson Palmer. And he was talking about how if he could go back, and play for anybody and, or start, if he was a GM and wanted to start a franchise, who he would have as his coach, as his offensive mind. And before the guy could even finish asking the question, he blurted out Shanahan right away. And he kind of talked about how, for one of the reasons was how Shanahan's able to scheme things so wide open that, like, pretty much he was saying, like, that's like the quarterback's dream to play for Shanahan because he makes it so easy, for the quarterback. Which I thought was pretty interesting because, we hear that a lot, right? But yet we see some quarterbacks come in and struggle, So it's not like any, and we heard this a lot with Brock, like, oh, well, he's just doing well because he's in Shanahan's system. But we've seen other quarterbacks that got drafted higher than Brock, that were backups on this team that went in and they weren't able to play that well under the same system. We've seen Trey go in and he has a completely different system. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think that, like, because I know, we're all three of us are pretty much all, for both quarterbacks, Brock and Trey. I know me and Ryan are more for Trey than, Beto seems to be more on the Brock Purdy train right now. So your guys' kind of thoughts on that. He's a first overall draft pick when he was in the league. He's played for numerous teams, and if he could pick one coach out of anybody, it didn't say a current coach or an old coach, retired coach, anybody, and he picked Shanahan.
Yeah, I'll go. That's somebody, not only you're talking about somebody who's like, oh, if I could do it all over again. That's somebody who you'd love to see him try it all over again, knowing what he knows now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Going, no, I'm not going with them. I'm holding out till I go to them because those people had no idea what the hell was going on. I'd rather take a shot with somebody at least who was trying something new. You know what I mean? Except for trying the same process. So to me, that's very telling. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of people in the league who would love to be in that situation, at least for the first couple of years. You know, the first,
Yeah.
I would say, first 5 years of their career would love to be in the Kyle Shanahan system because it's not reliant on superstar Patrick Mahomes. It's relying on you just being a good quarterback. And if you can come league and you could just be a good quarterback and excel at that, then the stuff that you do in between those, the stuff you do in between the plays where you're just doing everything as a good quarterback, that's what makes you excel, and that's what you get the bag for. So yeah, it makes sense to me. I'm sure there's probably a
Real,
lot of quarterbacks out there. Yeah.
real quick before you go, Beto. Another thing he had said is that when he played, he would go out and like his first 3 throws, he would try to throw deep balls so that the defense would, they can't play up. They know, okay, this guy's going to take shots, and it would help build his confidence up. He said that with Shanahan, that one of the best things about him is that he'll have his quarterback, he'll have them hitting dink and dunks to start off the game, right? And through the first drive, they come out of the game maybe 5 for 6 with a touchdown. So their confidence is through the roof, even though they didn't even throw a pass further than 10 yards. And he said that's huge for a quarterback to have that instant, like to go in there and be able to just do something so easily, for the rest of the game. They're like, okay, we got this, and that's made by Shanahan.
It's like every down is set up to be manageable with the play that he calls.
Yep.
There's always a road out, a path away, a path you could take that's not the designed path. So there's an easy out, and yeah, all you got to do is complete your progressions. That's all you have to do in his system is know what the play is, know how to say it, and go through your progressions.
Yeah, they say that Kyle Shanahan, it's a very quarterback friendly system. The verbiage is something you still need to learn and pick up, but it's designed to make quarterbacks and make it easier for quarterbacks to do what they need to do on the field. And when it comes to Trey Lance and Brock, I've always been a Trey Lance fan. I wanted him to be drafted um, from the other guys like Justin Fields and
Right.
all those guys. But I'm not gonna lie, Brock Purdy did win me over. I understand he has limitations. I understand he's not, he doesn't have that strong arm. He'll never be 6'4". He can build on the strength of his arm, but he doesn't have the size, and that's something he's always going to lack. But it's always like I always like look at my little Chihuahua that thinks she's a pit bull. She doesn't understand that she's a little dog with a big heart, and I think that Brock, the fact that he's always been dealing with his height, always been told you're not going to be successful because of this or that. I think that drives him. And for what I saw in him, he just inspired me. Doesn't mean that I don't like Trey. I love Trey. I want Trey to be successful. I think Trey is still the best, gives us the best chance not only to win a Super Bowl, but to be competitive and win multiple Super Bowls than Brock. But I just don't like to take away anything from or want to take anything away from Brock and what he did. But I am very much for competition. I think that iron sharpens iron, and I think these guys will sharpen each other and build on one another. And Kyle's the one to lead them. I think Brock has surgery tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow the 22nd, and then we'll know whether he'll be out for 6 months or I know he's not going to be out for the whole year. He didn't do the Tommy John or whatever it's called, but but it might be longer than 6 months.
Well, he said the doctor will know for sure once he gets in there.
And I'd also like to point out, David McNiner, shout out to him. He brought up a great point. What was it a couple nights ago, last night, something like that? I think it was on Corey's show. He was saying, shout out Corey Davis. He was saying that, yeah, just because Brock Purdy is having the surgery on the 22nd doesn't mean we're going to hear anything about it until the 23rd, which I thought is a very valid point to be said. So tomorrow, if you don't hear anything, remember, David McNiner called that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, I had listened to a podcast earlier, Brad Graham with DSF Niners, and he had an NFL college scout on there speaking about, some upcoming players, and I'm trying to get it pulled up real quick. Some upcoming, players that he's looking at in the draft and whatnot. And then he was asked, about his thoughts on, Trey and Brock, and, and not, just from, like how we look at them, but more from like a scouting standpoint, what he saw when scouting them. And he says one went third overall and one was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they're extinct in the future. So he's comparing that, Purdy's, in that range of a quarterback. And we're seeing that, right? That the league's moving towards the mobile guys, with the big arms, not a pocket, not the pocket passer, right? And yeah, I know Purdy, he can get out and he can move, he can escape out of the pocket, but he's still a pocket passer. He ain't running freaking down the field on you, right? So, I was thinking, and he brought up some more notes that, I'll talk to you guys about, but I was thinking when he was talking about that, it's interesting because remember when Jimmy first came to the 49ers, those first, 6 games, how many ever games he came in, he won. Like I went right after that season, went out to go get his jersey. Like, this is our guy, right? We finally got a franchise quarterback. I was sold after that little sample size of games, which as 98% of the fan base was at that time, whether you want to admit it now or not. And obviously the 49ers were, right? They went out, they gave him all that money after that small sample size. And, we talked about this last week on my show. I know a lot of people will say that they appreciate Jimmy. They're Jimmy fans because he turned this franchise around. He was able to win. And my argument is if you're not winning the Super Bowl, it really doesn't matter, right? Like, you can be a regular season MVP all you want, but the whole point is to win the Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers ass motherfuckers.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's how part of the fan base is right now on Brock Purdy. Like, they saw him come in and win, and now everybody's like, oh, okay, that's the last thing that we've seen, so we're all on board with that. But at the end of the day, like, he was drafted at the last pick for a reason. Like, I think people are forgetting, and just because we haven't seen actually what Trey Lance can do, like, he said that, Brock Purdy can go in there and run Kyle Shanahan's playbook, and Trey Lance can go in there and blow the roof off of that playbook. So,
but will he do it though?
Well, but he has to be given the opportunity to see.
He has to work on that
I
accuracy,
think it's
though.
crazy that you have an organization that dumps 3 first-round picks into a kid, and everybody's just okay to go out there and say, okay, trade him away, get rid of him, cut him, do this. We don't need him. We got Brock Purdy. And yet you don't see that as a failure on the organization to waste 3 first round draft picks on somebody and then not even give him a shot to see how he is, what he can be.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, as a fan base, we get attached to certain players. We fall in love with certain players, and we advocate for them. We want them to succeed. And, of course, the Niners organization wants players to succeed as well. But keep in mind, for them, it's always a business side of it, first and foremost. They say they're loyal to players, but they're really loyal to the business and to the organization, first and foremost. And Um, if Brock Purdy did not exist, for example, and we gave up all those picks for Trey, and say Trey didn't become who we thought he would be, then I can consider it being a failure from an organization standpoint. But the fact that they found Brock Purdy in that area they were not even looking to find, and why he fell that low is probably because he's not your prototype 6'4" with a big arm that scouts tend to look at like Trey. So he fell behind, and Tom Brady fell all the way to the 6th round, and we know where he's at. I'm not saying Brock is going to be near that, but if Brock can take, for example, I'm just an example, if he can take the Niners to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, nobody's really going to think or care that we gave up 3 first picks for Trey. It's unfair. It is unfair for that, but they're not going to care. Fan base is not going to care. They're just, you win the chip, you win the trophy. They can care less what we gave up for Trey. It's just the way the business is. But the only time the fan base does care is when there's a bust. Like if Trey couldn't get us to the Super Bowl, but we had nobody else, and now we're without our quarterback, that's when the fan base tends to remember we gave up 3. I can't believe we gave up 3, which initially they only gave up 2 number ones, and they exchanged one of them.
Ryan, pull up Alberto's comment, please, right there.
So one thing I also wanted to point out was where's Alberto? Give me an example. So I wanted to point out also, so Jimmy G almost won the Super Bowl with this team. So you also have to think it's not just they're like we need that other quarterback. They're seeing Purdy, who is better than Jimmy, who can put up consistently on average more points per game than Jimmy. And they're going, he's good enough. He's good. I just want somebody in there to get it. That's what they're thinking, because they're looking at what Jimmy was able to do all the way up to in 2019. They're like, we're one throw away, and they're looking at Purdy going, well, he's making a lot of those throws, you know what I mean, that need to be made in those crucial times. And they're going, that's the kind of guy that we needed instead of Jimmy. And I'm not saying that 49ers need to go all in on Purdy. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get in their mind. I think we need to have a good competition. If Purdy can suit up in training camp, I want there to be a good competition. But I'm just getting into their heads a little bit. And I could see that aspect, because there is some truth to that. You know what I mean? But I don't think if you're looking long term, it's better just to get all the kinks out with Trey right now and then start flying with him later on down the road. It's just the best thing to do. You gave up all that capital. You know what I mean? But Beto's got a great point too. If they win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, half this fan base could be like, I don't give up. You know what I mean? Because
I'm sure 99% of the fan base, if you win a Super Bowl, that's
I'm talking about between Trey or Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? We will all appreciate a Super Bowl win. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, like moving on from Trey over Purdy, that would be, a Super Bowl win would push the needle a little bit more for Purdy. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, Brock Purdy at his best and Trey Lance at his best, Trey Lance brings more to the table. I'm not dismissing that. Trey Lance is a better athlete, and he brings more to the table. I would love Trey Lance to be successful, and I agree, it should be an open competition. Just because Brock won all these games shouldn't go into the offseason as the starter. He should be the starter, but they should allow Trey Lance to compete, and whether Brock remains the starter or not will be up to Trey Lance and what he can show the coaches in the offseason. So I would love to see that. I love the competition. Now, both kids are humble. That's what I love about both kids. They're both humble. They both obviously want to be the guy. Who doesn't? You want to be the guy, but I'm pretty sure whoever loses will humbly help out the winner, and I don't think there's going to be any animosity between them. So as long as they compete and bring the best out of each other, it's better for us as a fan base because not only do we have a starter, but we have a great backup in case that starter gets hurt. We don't miss a beat, whoever's backing up. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
The thing is, before Purdy got hurt, I could see exactly what you're saying play out that way. However, we have to take into account that Purdy's probably going to be back. They want to say sometime in training camp, but if you count the months, even 6 months puts you at the first week of the season. So when are they supposed to be competing? When's the competition supposed to be happening? During the season? And then the whole argument, oh, this is a win now team, so we need Brock Purdy. I've been hearing that since we drafted Trey Lance, and yet we haven't won a Super Bowl since. We haven't won a Super Bowl through that time. It was, oh, we need to play Jimmy right now because this is a win now team and Trey's not ready. Well, did we win a Super Bowl? So we're going to keep saying that every year. And meanwhile, Trey Lance is sitting there not getting any play, not getting any time to get ready.
That's because Kyle got scared and wanted to put a Band-Aid on some things and try and limp through 1 year and see if he could get it over the. He's trying to be smarter than he is. Plus, he also had to keep the room. Did we want to get to this Alberto's question?
I just thought that was interesting. That's exactly what Nick Foles came in. He wins the Super Bowl. I even think he won Super Bowl MVP. And the Eagle, everybody, all fans around the world that weren't even Eagles fans, oh, they got to keep Foles. They got to keep Foles. There's no way that you put Foles back to the backup after he just, won the team Super Bowl. Yet they did. Why?
I think that was actually the agreement.
We see Wentz has been shit ever since. So,
and actually, the Eagles messed up by not putting Foles back as a starter because you got to remember Wentz sucks, man. Wentz is no good. So Foles, it's hard to compare because Trey Lance is a way better quarterback than Wentz. And in this particular case with Nick Foles,
Wentz had just got MVP though.
Who did?
Wentz had. So it's not like he was shit. Like he was a good quarterback as well. He's been shit since. But he wasn't thought of as that way prior to that.
It could be that offense was just so good. The offensive coordinator, that both quarterbacks really played well in that offense that year, but both quarterbacks sucked. So maybe it wasn't because of talent. It was just because of the scheme that was being ran at Washington or Philadelphia, that year, and not much of the talent because both Wentz and Foles are backups now.
Yeah, Foles has been crap at every opportunity that he's gotten since too. So it's crazy.
Jimmy's a term of endorsement, and James Garoppolo no longer a Niner, so we ain't homies.
Yeah, that's
G.
David McNiner.
That's James G. No, that's
I always get a crack when I hear James. What's up, Terador?
Lawrence from Platform 246 is the one who said that. He put me onto it too. James.
Okay.
And my Vegas brother, Lawrence.
What's up, Dina Harvey? Welcome to the show. Eric Wills.
Hey.
I love it. Eric's a Seahawks fan, but very respectful, very cool. I think by the end of the year, by this offseason, we should win him over to the Niners. I think he spends a lot, which I don't mind, but he spends a lot of times with the Niners content creators. Just come on over, bro.
He even went on the live stream. I think he found me from your channel, Beto.
He came on mine.
He started coming into my stream, and then when we beat the Seahawks, he showed up to my instant reaction show and asked, "Can I come on stream live to congratulate you guys?" And he came on stream live during the instant reaction show after the 49ers just slaughtered the Seahawks to tell us congratulations. You can't get that from another Seahawks fan.
Oh no, not at all. I just seen my girl somewhere. Where is she? Tanisha, what's up, girl? Welcome to the channel.
We also got Terradome in the building. Terradome's up.
Yeah, Terradome's in the house.
Hey.
It's always a good chat when Terradome's in it.
Always. Everyone, man. I'm telling you.
Wait. Is this your birthday tomorrow?
Birthday.
Lawrence, he's been talking about this for a week or
Oh.
so. I couldn't remember. Is this your birthday tomorrow, Lawrence? Please put that in the chat.
Yeah, I know
Oh,
it's coming up.
You would think it's his he's talking about because
hey, Eric, do you live in Washington? We can meet up. I can give you this house divided flag so you can be a Niners and a Seahawks fan at the same time. I just got it
So do
folded
you,
over because
do you guys think that we'll
What's
be
that?
able to do a giveaway in this format here?
yes, I just think we should do it really quickly.
Okay.
Either that or we could send everybody to one. I forgot to.
Maybe
I could
just do it
send
like a
very quick.
2-minute time limit.
Well, we could send everybody to one chat and then draw the number there.
One chat.
And then
I think we should be
yeah,
able to
so
do
there's
that.
three there's 3 streams, so you could send everybody
Yeah,
to
but
one stream and then
is you do? Oh, are you referring? You're doing the giveaway only to your channel?
No, to everybody.
That's why
So
you
whoever
send
picks a
everybody in
number-
one chat.
But if whoever picks
That's
the
why
number,
you-
it'll show up on your list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would be able to see them all really easy in one spot
that's-
without having to look
Oh,
on
I got
here
what
and
you're saying
scroll.
for her to count. Ah, got it.
No,
My
because
bad.
I see it the same way it looks on the screen is the same way the chat looks to me. So it's
Yeah,
not
that's
going
what
to
I
make it
was
any
thinking.
easier
Yeah.
for me.
That's what I was thinking.
But what happens when 2 minutes rolls by?
Then we scroll through. I can scroll through the chat and look.
All right. Okay. I didn't know you had.
Just the same that I do any other way.
Oh,
She's
And then I'll
smarter
just
than
tell
us,
you whoever
bro.
won
Come
and you
on.
can put it up there. Jesus. You're trying to get so
you're good.
difficult on these people.
Can you highlight pinned messages? Can you see those?
You would have to do it.
No.
Okay.
I'll just tell you guys whoever won, and that's how it'll be. Don't worry, chat will let us know.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure the chat will let. Yeah.
So
Let me
since
know
we're
when you
talking
wanna
about,
I mean, we can always look at our own chat and you know, and keep
I
it
think
honest.
it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Let me know when you want to show off the cards, and I'll put you main stage.
Since we're talking about quarterbacks, let's start off with a Trey Lance giveaway.
And people already popping in their number. Wrong person.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There you go.
Let's do Trey Lance turbocharged. And for those that don't know, everybody, you'll enter your number 1 through 100 in the chat. No duplicates. Since we're doing it, this way, we're just give you guys a 2-minute time. 2 minutes to enter your guys' numbers. And once the 2 minutes is up, then I'll draw a number. Whoever was the closest will win. If you guess it exactly right, then we have another extra prize that you win on top of it as well. So good luck, everybody.
Welcome, Big Papa and Big Mass Sports. Welcome to the channel.
30.
Terradome with 13, Big Papa 23, Big Mass Sports 5.
David
Young
McNair.
What up, David
has
McNair?
Yeah, and since you guys are this is where it's going to be hard for them. You guys have to look on the screen and see the other numbers that are being entered because you guys can only see what's in your chat if you're looking on the chat.
Yeah, look at the main screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't look at your individual chats that you're in. Look at the monitor. And
That's right.
It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll let it flow.
People aren't going to complain for free shit.
Yeah,
And if they do it too bad.
Preach it, sister. That's what I'm talking about. Not that none of these people will complain, but if they did, sayonara. Yeah, that's funny shit though. That's so true though.
Yeah.
I mean, what world do we have to come to where people complain about free stuff, right?
Exactly. Can you take me off this big screen now?
Maybe. I'm trying to figure out the
She's like, take me off or
make
take
sure
myself
nobody
off.
duplicates.
I know. X right out of here.
Let's go. Oh no. Get Michael Jordan. Get the abuela.
If you guys have any questions or anything in the meantime.
I keep trying to scroll up on the ones on the TV, on the monitor. I can't do it. This is not my channel. It's a habit. What's up, Melissa? My little sis. Good to see you, girl. Good to see you. McCaffrey's
David
number.
McNeil.
Okay.
I appreciate you for keeping them in order. See, the mods know. They know how to call out the duplicates. They're good at us already.
Yep.
Make sure everybody that is watching, though, that you guys go to all 3 channels. Make sure you're subscribed to all 3, that you like all 3, because it'll help us all out tremendously. We appreciate
I
you guys.
totally forgot to put the links in the description, like an idiot.
Tonto. Hey, at the end honestly though, this is our first live, so we're gonna work out the kinks. There's gonna be kinks in there. We're gonna work them out, and we'll make the streaming each week better and better as we go. So you're doing a great job there, Ryan. Don't trip.
I just wish you guys could pin messages too. That'd be cool.
But every Tuesday now at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we'll be doing this, the 3 of us, Niners and Friends, we're calling it. So we'll be talking about the Niners, and you guys are our friends, so make sure you guys show up.
Don't make me send Ryan to your house. You better show up every Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
you don't want that big guy with that beard showing up at your door in the middle of the night.
At 2 a.m. looking in your window.
Geez. So there's the do you know who John Cleese is?
No, I don't.
John Cleese was from Monty Python. I don't know if you ever seen Monty Python, Search for the Holy Grail. He was also in A Fish Called Wanda with Jamie Lee Curtis, and
I seen that movie.
Okay, so he was the British barrister that Jamie Lee Curtis was flirting with, and he got caught removing his underwear when okay. So he did another show, and he was threatening this lady who had a hearing aid, but it would go up and down, and she'd turn it off, and she couldn't hear anything right. And so he'd say some stuff to her so she could hear, and then he would turn away from her and say other stuff. And at one point, he says something about he looks at her, says something to her, and then turns around and says, "Yeah, and I'll be by at 2 a.m. or 2 o'clock in the morning to put a bat up your nightdress." And he's talking about just taking a winged bat and just releasing it underneath her nightgown. So once you said coming at 2 o'clock in the morning, I thought, I'll be putting bats under people's nightgowns. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want that.
Alberto asked a question.
Oh, okay. We'll get to the bottom here.
Like a 1835 Owen.
Oh, dang.
About Chase Young.
All right. Would you trade some draft picks for Chase Young? I hear they don't want to pick up his 5th-year option.
Who said that?
Make sure you guys got your numbers in. I'm about to draw.
Have you heard more about this, Miriah? Who was it from?
I did hear that. Team reporters were saying that the team was questioning if they were going to pay him, pick up the 5th-year option and pay him that money.
Well, that's not a red flag. I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I know somebody in Twitter made a comment. I think it was, no, I'm not going to mention the name because I'm going to probably get the wrong person, but someone said about, how the Niners want to go after Daron Payne, but maybe we should just maybe think of giving some trade, call Carolina and see if we can trade for Burns. Will cost the same, but I'm like, technically financially it may cost the same as Burns, but not in the draft capital situation. They're going to want 2 or 3 number ones. So, and I think the same thing goes for Chase Young. What would you want to give? I don't know. I just think we need somebody in the middle. And I think Daron Payne, all we have to give him is 5 years and a huge contract, of course. But I want to keep our draft capital. We don't have that many as it is. And we already gave our top, draft capital. So I'm good with bringing in a free agent, signing him, even if it's a big contract. But not give up capital, not for Chase Young or Burns.
I also think we've already got a defensive lineman right now that we don't know if we're going to pick up his 5th-year option. So getting into somebody else's troubles right now and paying to do it, I don't know. Because
if you're
also
referring to Javon Kinlaw, we're not picking it up. They already said it.
Oh, they already said they're not picking it up?
Oh yeah, they're not picking it up.
Okay. I just seen
There's
somebody's
no way
quote.
that you can pick that
Well,
up.
because you got to look at what you got to look at the columns of where players get money. Ooh, 52 is the lucky winner.
Ooh.
Congratulations to number 52. So there's brackets, right? What quarterbacks make in 1 year if you get franchise tag or you get picked up because the 5th-year option is guaranteed, and it's way more than he's worth. So there's no way they're going to give that money to him. He's only played 16 games and all the games that he's been available or been with the Niners, not enough games. So I'm ready. I don't mind him being a backup for this upcoming season and then let him go. But I don't want to depend on him as a starter. I hope the Niners really address that spot.
I think it's JLDR.
JDLR, yeah.
JDLR.
Congrats, JDLR.
Congrats.
Trey Lance.
Woo!
Congratulations, brother, on winning.
That is a badass card.
Yeah. To release Kinlaw is going to they're not going to release him because there's dead money. They will keep him for the year, but he can be a backup and not necessarily your starter.
These are some of the cards I've won from Miss Miriah. They look familiar, Miriah?
Yeah. You got a whole nother bag full over here too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to JDLR.
The Bryant Culp and Tony Culp, they have so much. I'm gonna have to send their shit out in a box.
It's
like a envelope.
It's like they got the same number app that you got, and they just put it to the same frequency.
Probably.
They wrote the app.
But people go on like a roll though. Like somebody won't win like for months. They've never won, and then they win, and all of a sudden they'll win for 8 streams in a row. They'll win. JDLR is one of them.
You know what I do? I just use the same number every time. I use my senior football jersey number. You know what it's gonna do?
Citizen number, but
look, they say you want to win the lotto, you do the daily lotto, and you pick the same numbers every single time, and that's your highest chance to win ever. And it's because there's less people doing that one. You're being consistent by playing the same numbers, and there's more chances to win. So
now how do you know there's few? Because out of billions of people that play, somebody must have the same numbers that you have.
No, the daily lotto is less paid than the Mega Millions and all that. That's why their payouts aren't
the daily
as high.
lotto. I don't play lottery.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. This is different.
Yeah, like that's because look at the Mega Millions when they say, oh, it's gone up to 220 million from let's say 100 or 200 million, right? They're just estimating by the time closes that's how much money will have been paid into it due to what happens on a regular basis, what happens at certain money increments and all that. They kind of know. It's weird. Something about playing the numbers throughout time, and people have been able to crack it. Like you can go on you can go to the Mega Millions and you can check to see what's the most winningest numbers or the most often called numbers. And then you can turn around and make that, and they just play those every week.
Melissa asked about Amenahue.
Yeah, I was going to tell. Yeah, bring that up.
Hold on. I got that one. I got this one. I saved a while ago. Thought it was good. I don't know why it's not coming up. There it is. What do you think of people wanting to sign Omenihu back? Now the DV stuff has been forgotten by some. Do we know more about the incident yet?
I was just thinking that, like, I haven't heard
No,
anything about
it's
it
not a
since.
big thing. He would have never played in the playoffs if it was something that the Niners were worried about that will come out later, or they did the due diligence. I think it was just a um, kind of something minor that was blown up in social
Okay.
media.
And it was a he said, she said. They said they
Yeah.
didn't see any marks on her. She didn't want to even go to the hospital or anything.
She didn't want to
so
press charge or nothing. Yeah.
no.
So, yeah, if it would have been something more concerning, I don't think he would have played in the playoffs. So the fact that he played, and he's never had no incident like this before, so
No.
I don't think that's something that the Niners are truly worried about. Now, bringing him back, I would love to bring him back. I think he's done great for us. Now he's going to cost a little bit more than what he did, but I think, my personal opinion, our first priority should be Emmanuel Mosley. Lock him up, and then work there down. I would love to bring a mini Hugh back, but Emmanuel Mosley should be one that the Niners should focus on bringing back, because we need that secondary help.
Thanks, Eric. We love you too. We appreciate you.
Me personally, like, I don't know what happened, but I had the feeling when it first came out where it was like, he got in trouble. This is what was said. Oh, it wasn't really much that went on. You know what I mean? All this stuff. This seemed to me like it was one of them fights that got out of hand, but not like physically out of hand. Like words were said to the point where somebody got really hurt and decided to call the cops. You know what I'm saying? Because they were they might have been trying to play a card. That's what I had I had a feeling that it was something that might have been, like, I don't know.
Well, I don't want to speculate because I wasn't really there, but I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It seemed like certain things, like, how to put it?
Maybe, maybe he just pushed her, like, get out of the way, and that's
it
sometimes
could be
people consider that domestic
so
violence.
If I move you to the side, right, and moving you to the side, even though I take all care and precaution, right? Because I've been in certain situations, right? Like, I'm trying to leave, right? Somebody's blocking the door. I move to the side to the block, move them to the side so they're not blocking the door. And when I do that, they now understand that I have got them out of their way, and now they have to figure out some way to stop me from going through that door. And normally what they'll do is they'll put all their weight up against you so they're not supporting any of it. And the moment you let go, they fall to the ground.
But isn't it the minute you touch them, it's already considered domestic violence?
Yes,
you're not supposed to lay a hand on them, period. So even if you move them, and I understand you're trying to get through the door,
well,
but you touch them, you're invading that privacy of theirs.
I'm sure if you explain that to an officer, like they were blocking my exit and they were trying to escalate a fight, and I moved them to the side to get out of there, there's probably nothing that's going to be said whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Unless you're
moving them and pushing them to the side.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's like I've been sitting there and it's like, you gotta go, but you're holding up all their weight. So once you leave, they're going to fall. And then, hey, maybe they weren't doing that specifically, but maybe when they got moved to the side, maybe they were intoxicated. Maybe they didn't know why they ended up on the ground, but when they got moved to the side, their footing wasn't correct. And then all of a sudden it went down, and, I thought you threw me. You know what I mean? There could be lots of things going on. To me, it seemed like a lot of things had gotten blown out of proportion, but we'll see, because if there's anything, it will come out immediately. It will come out immediately.
Well, it's been a couple of weeks. I mean, I think it would have already I mean, if there would have been evidence of injury, if there would have been a charges brought up by the girlfriend or wife, things. I think we would have heard something. I think it's like you said. It was if they were not in the public eye, nobody would even know about it.
Unless they were trying to build a big civil case.
In the elevator, the running back for the Ravens.
Oh God,
that it wasn't like that where he was dragging her. You know what I mean? I think it was just an art. You know, he pushed her or moved her out of the, like you said, moved her out of the way. Somebody saw. And if a neighbor sees, it doesn't even have to be her that called the cops. It could be a neighbor, one of those nosy people.
Yep.
I seen her touch her.
You know what I
mean?
Nosy like Karen, Bradley says down there, California law requires when domestic violence takes place that someone has to be arrested, and the same's here in Vegas as well.
Yes.
And they usually
called out. Yes.
They always, you know, if it's a male involved, there's always the male is taken out of the house, which I think is the cause. You know what I mean? I've never been taken out of the house for anything like that, but if I was in that situation, I would totally understand it. It sucks. You know what I mean? That, you know, that somebody's got to go there, but I think it's best for everybody. You know what I mean? Because it also, you got to a situation that got the cops called one way or another, right? Okay, so you need to do some reflecting, and you probably don't need to do it next to the same person that got you to that state, right? So it's probably best that the lady stays at home all by herself where she doesn't want to be. You know what I mean? She doesn't want. One of the reasons why she's fighting is because she cares about that, you know, the other person. Either that or she would have already left. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's women, you know what I'm saying? And he's, you know, he could take it. He's a man. He can go sit in jail and go, fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's best. It's just, you know, it's not always, you know, cool that everybody's got to get it, but, you know, it's better to have a good situation, you know, every single time done like that. So certain things can't sneak through the cracks, and, you know, more people will be saved by violence, you know.
So Melissa also asked, let's change the subject. Amenahue, would you keep Amenahue or Sosa?
I would keep Amenahue. I think he'll cost less.
Same. I agree.
Sosa.
I'm not happy with
Samson. They call him.
I'm not happy with the production that we got out of him. I wanted him gone before the start of last season.
And he's in demand way more in the open market, even though he don't deserve it.
Yeah, so, the money that he made compared to his production ain't worth it to me.
East Coast Red and Gold podcast, welcome. Bradley Lodge,
what up,
welcome.
Jess?
Hey, Jess.
Let's see.
Play with it. We'll try to re-sign him, but he's most likely gone. Yeah, I think he'll be gone because someone is just paying more than what the Niners would want to give him to bring him back. And somebody mentioned earlier about bringing, somebody asked us the question, would we like to bring back Arden Key? I don't think Jacksonville's going to let him out of their sight.
It doesn't matter.
Well, it matters to the Jacksonville because they want him.
No, I mean, to us, like, it's not like he's a game wrecker. You know what I mean? He's put up some average, you know, numbers here and then. He's been hit or miss too. You know what I mean? He's coming off a hit year, which usually means followed by a miss year if you look at his stats. So, like,
well, he went to Jacksonville on a big contract because he had a good year with us. And then he followed that up with even a better year with Jacksonville. He led sacks and hits over there, even over their number one draft pick. He's pretty good. I personally think he was underrated. I think the Niners should have kept him, but I like him. I don't know if he'll come back in the first. People forget. Sometimes these players, they get upset that you were let go of, or you were not appreciated for what you did, and they don't want to come back. So it's not a matter of will the Niners bring him back. It's whether does he want to come back to the Niners, you know. But Kalia Davis is an interesting there, Big Papa. I would love to see what he brings to the table. He reminds me, based on college, a lot of DJ Jones. I wish the Niners. I understand why the Niners did not sign DJ Jones, but
I don't.
I wish we
I
would have
don't.
kept him.
Yeah, I don't.
In a sense of where you don't they should have kept him, or
Yeah, they should have kept him.
okay.
He's such a wrecker up there on the front that he's worth every dollar.
I agree.
Like,
Yep.
worth every dollar, and especially with that whole crew together. You know what I mean? Like, it's how to put it. You could take a great defensive line, and you could split those players up to other average defensive lines, and they won't have anywhere close to the same production at times, because it's not even necessarily about, you all being good, about everybody on the line being good. It's about the connection and about how well somebody's strengths and weaknesses are married to somebody else's. You know what I mean? How good of a game plan you got with certain people. If somebody's quick, okay, use their quickness to this is strength when you need strength. Okay, put that person in on first down. You know what I mean? It's the crews, it's knowing how to use people. And so
It's just putting players in positions to be successful based
yes.
on their ability, what they can provide, and what they do best, and that's what great coaching comes from. That's one thing about Chris Kosaric, that he's able to get these D linemen paid. Even though they may not be good elsewhere, they get paid because they're so good underneath Kosaric.
David, sorry to interrupt. Hold on.
Good vibes for Purdy surgery tomorrow. Yes. Yes. Jerry,
Hold
welcome.
Check it out. I believe is this Melissa. Yep. Am I the only one who wants DFF to be a Texan rather than Burks and Ball? DFF, is that DeForest Buckner?
Demetrius Flanagan Fowles.
Oh
no, I agree. I think he'll be gone, and I definitely want to see Ball and Burks. He's.
Well, Burks won't go nowhere.
Role.
He's on the
no.
He didn't come under a 1-year contract. He came under a 2-year.
So
yep. He'll be here. The one that will probably leave and go and become the Fred Warner of the Texans is probably going to be Aziz.
Yep.
I was watching a Texans chat the other day, or a Texans show the other day on YouTube. I can't remember their names, but they were saying some stuff, and I was like, "You have no idea what the hell you're talking about." They're talking about who are they trying to? Oh, maybe we could get this person, and I was like, "What? You're tripping." Well, they got this. And I said, "Look, let me give you this." Aziz Al-Shair, he's your next Mike linebacker. You're welcome. Okay, that's one nugget there for you. All right. And then I was like, but you guys are ridiculous at what you were saying. I can't remember the other things, but I remember having to tell him, hey, your new linebacker is this though. They're talking about looking into getting Debo, seeing about Trey Lance and stuff like that. I think
from
there's
us.
Yeah, like I think
I thought they're trying to get players from other teams. They can.
I think that's where I heard that somebody was thinking they could get a second round pick for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No. They have the cap space, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
Crazy. That's el stupido.
Yeah, some people have been tying Trey Lance going to the Titans because of Rothon, now the general manager there. It's like, or based because Trey Lance made a comment, and it's like people blow shit right out of proportion, man. Nobody can. You put a icon, you put a little emoji or whatever, and suddenly Trey wants to leave. It's like people gotta stop, man. It's like these players can't put nothing down because people misinterpret. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back either, Jess, but I just don't see. He wants the bag, and if Jacksonville can give him the bag, he'll take it.
Also, I don't think people really use common sense with certain things.
They don't.
That's 95% of us.
Not. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of Trey Lance's tweets are not some Illuminati
I'm telling you.
type code deep. You know, he doesn't sit around for 2 days thinking up how he can put all these things together that will equal what he's really trying to say. And so he can lay out a path. It's not some QAnon stuff. You know what I mean? There's no secret guy behind the scenes. It's
He
not
gets up,
that.
scratches his left butt cheek, and then writes a text. That's how simple
He's
it
just
is.
exactly. Take it at that. You know what is this? You know what I saw it as? Once I figured out the timing of it, this is the other thing. Look at the timing of when it came out and look at what it is. He's saying, I hope he gets this job. This is keeping your fingers crossed so what someone is something that could happen to somebody happens, right? Real easy. Just think about it like a 2-year-old. Okay. Now, look, contract negotiations. Look, Debo says all that stuff and this and here doesn't mean nothing. That's bullcrap, right? It doesn't mean anything.
He's just trying to leverage things.
That's the reason why it means like, it doesn't mean anything because it's the normal stuff of how they do things.
Yep.
That's what he said when he says, no, there's nothing
Like
about that. It was
taking
nothing.
your picture, taking the Niners off his IG. That's just marketing for themselves.
That is like, there's a used car, or there's a car dealership up here that sells like, you know, nice used cars, right? You know, but they always put this little star on the back of the car. And I'll never buy a car from there because I'm gonna buy a car from you, but then I am doing all your marketing for you. Every time I drive around, everybody knows what that little star means. It means a Kirkland, whatever. You know what I mean? You'll see it. It's boom, there's a little star. Okay, I know where they got that car. And to me, it's like, well, hey, if you're gonna have me market things for you, you better take some money off the price of this car there, bro. Because
damn straight.
you know, right?
Yep.
So
I better see some money come off if I'm gonna be a drivable billboard for you.
That could be a thing. Hey, look, you at this moment don't necessarily, we are not on good terms as far as costs go, right? So at that point, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here at this moment to really be thinking about you because I'm here to be thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? Even though in Debo's situation, he had another year, but the business was being done then. So he's having to show you, hey, this is what life is going to be like once I am no longer under your contract. You know what I'm saying? Do you want this to be your life?
Real quick, I just want to mention Melissa's question. Uke or Bosa gets paid first. There's no way a Uke is going to get paid over Bosa.
No.
Bosa, and people need to be patient with Bosa. You're not going to hear anything until about early August, middle of August. People are, if you're going to think you're going to hear anything in March, April, or May, you have something else coming. If you don't remember Kittle, Debo, and Fred Warner, that wasn't done until August. So Bosa will be taken care of. At the very least, they can always put they can always tag, or not. They don't have to tag him. They just
no.
give him a fifth-year option.
They still got to pick up his fifth-year option. Yeah, he ain't getting signed this year regardless.
No,
it'll be next season if they do sign him.
Now the better question is this. Let me ask you guys in the panel: if they do give the bag to a Uke, not this offseason, but next offseason, do you think they will trade a Debo? Because they can't pay both.
That's not necessarily true.
Well,
they can restructure the crap out of Debo's.
They're going to have to pay that quarterback eventually.
Yes.
And you don't want to kick the can down the road. That's what people make the mistake with kicking the can down the road, because that dead money becomes an issue.
Not necessarily. Depends on how you kick it down the road. If the salary cap is going to go up a certain amount each year, then if you let's say it goes up $1.5 million a year, right? The salary cap does, right? Let's say you kick the contract out essentially $1 million over however years, right? So the first year you're losing essentially $1 million, right? But after that, you're not, because every year you gain in a 1 million over that, and it's still back there. Now, if in a perfect world, it's like you're not taking like $60 million and backloading it, in 3 years after his contract's up. You know what I mean? That's where it's going to kill you. If you knock it down 30 years down the road, you know what I mean? Bobby Bonilla,
one of the things that Prague does, Ryan, is he front loads the contract. He likes to front load the contract, and what counts against the cap every year is the signing bonuses, is what really counts against the cap. So that's the figure you're looking at. You want to, not necessarily the contract itself, but the signing bonus. Just like when Bosa gets signed, is he going to get 40 million signing bonus? And if it is, how much of it's going to count against the cap? About what, 9 million against the cap?
I'm sure more than just the signing bonus counts against the cap, because if that's the case, then people would just be paying everybody more salary and not signing bonuses to get around the whole cap thing.
But players want signing bonus because that's guaranteed. So the
Right.
player itself wants it's not a matter of the team, it's the player. The player's like, give me my cash now, but that hurts it goes against the cap. So Bosa wants that $8 to $7 million cap, a signing bonus. Well, he wants a 40 million signing bonus, but about 8 of them counts against the cap. But going back to the dead money, like we're still paying for Fred D Ford dead money. It's counting against this year. It's counting 8 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's counting against the salary of dead money. You have Alex Mack. You have $1.5 million, $1.2 million against Trey Sermon, Tariq Castro Fields, all these players that are, I'm not going to mention them all, but so to me, if you're going to kick down the can, you got to do it to someone like maybe Fred Warner, that will be your cornerstone for a couple more years. Like some people mentioned doing it to Eric Armstead. I'm like, we already did it once. Do you really want Eric Armstead and that huge contract in a couple more years? You don't want to kick down his can. Trent Williams, you don't want to kick his either.
Well, if you're restructuring it, you're taking the same amount of money and moving it in different ways, right? So kicking it down the road, this or that, doesn't really. Let's say Eric's going to finish the rest of his career here, right? What does it matter if you kick the rest of it down the road for 30 straight years if he's okay with it?
But it's going to count against, at some point it's going to count against the cap.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hurting the 49ers to stop from them being able to play players that are on the team right now.
At a fraction. It's not like, it's not like D Ford being $8 million this year, which could be like a right tackle. You know what I mean? It's not
the 8 million is counting against the cap.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
And he was there last year.
Depending on how long you kick it down the road is how much of a speed bump it is, right?
Correct.
Okay. So if you're talking about a player who like, okay, let's say Fred Warner, right? Let's say Fred Warner's going to be here forever. Okay, cool. You can kick his can down the road as long as he's good with it, right? Because then you know that he's going to be here. Who's going to trade for that? Who's going to trade for that and that contract? You know what I mean? Someone's going to take it away.
We got breaking news about Brock Purdy. If you can pull up 49er throwbacks message right there. Breaking news.
Give me 1 second.
It says quarterback Brock Purdy was recommended to postpone his surgery until March because of ongoing inflammation in his elbow, per Tom Pelissero.
He needs the whole thing done. The whole thing needs to be done. The whole thing needs to be redone. Trey Lance is starting.
Thank you, throwback.
Yeah, thank you. That's not good whatsoever.
Not in the sense of competition. No.
Well, I'm just talking about for Brock.
Yeah.
I think the less time he spends away, the best for him.
Yeah, because I mean, being a 7th round pick, you don't have the luxury to sit back and lose his spot. I mean, he wants to compete, but then he also has to be smart too. If he comes back too early or has the wrong surgery, and that hurts him in the long run, it's one of those damn if I do, damn if I don't moments for him. It's just a matter of which one he values more, the long run or the short game.
It seems like everybody's getting the whole UCL surgery nowadays, and that everybody's seeing better results for the most part. So to me, taking the long surgery probably would have been best overall. You know what I mean? Because he might come back with extra strength, which a lot of people hear, which is one thing that he was kind of needing a little bit, right? And if they put this brace on it and it doesn't work, he is really in trouble then. He's really in trouble then. So I think he should just have the total UCL surgery. Just focus on getting back as healthily and as stronger as you possibly can, because with how he knows how to use the offense, I mean, all this guy needs is a little bit more of an arm. And if he can figure out how to throw the ball accurately in those little checkdowns without having to set his feet, he'll kill people. He'll kill people because he's got the eyes. He's got the talent. You know what I'm saying? He just needs to be able to, he sees it all. He knows where he's going. He just, if you notice, he's got to set his feet and throw it, or else he has issues.
I'm talking about Brock, right?
Brock, yes. And if he can get a little bit more strength to where he doesn't have to set his feet so much and he can let that go as he's going, it's going to be so much better for him, because it takes so much longer for him to set his feet, get in that perfect throwing position, and then throw it. It's great throw. It's a great throw. It gets to where it needs to be. He's really good with it. He knows he's got great timing with it and all that. But what I've noticed was, like, he was always half a step ahead of the defensive ends, the defensive edges, all that. And at some point, that is not going to be a thing. And so he needs to be able to, while he knows he's got a lead, and before he takes the risk of setting his feet and throwing the ball, you know what I mean? He needs to be able to just throw it on the run. And this might be able to help him. But I'm telling you, I don't think this is now a brace surgery anymore. This is now a total UCL. I've been saying that I think it was a UCL from the beginning. It was going to have to be because of how like injured he was, how he couldn't do anything on the field. If this thing just needs a little brace, he should be able to throw with pain. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not as strong because, it hurts a lot, but if you're only needed a brace, he should have been able to throw something. You know what I mean? Because something's still attached. I think the fact that the swelling's up so much is the reason why they didn't know if they were going to be able to just attach it or not, because swelling can stop you from being able to look at things. And that's why the doctor was talking about, I'll figure it out when I get in there, because he can't see anything because of the swelling.
Yeah, I feel bad for Brock. I mean, coming from like as a 7th round pick, for us as fans, if Trey Lance takes off and becomes that quarterback we think he can be, and then we're happy, we're excited for Trey. But if you put yourself in Brock's shoes, it's like, man, when would I ever get my opportunity again to showcase what I can do? So I can understand why he would be tempted not to have that long, even though the long surgery might be what he needs. But I can understand why he's tempted not to get it, because he wants to go back and compete right away, because he doesn't want to lose his job, especially if Trey takes off. But at the end of the day, man, if I believe if he needs a long-term surgery, take care of yourself, get well, and if Trey does succeed here, then maybe you get traded to another team and you get your chance there. But if you get the surgery that not the right one, you can always hurt yourself down the line, and it's always going to be something where like, man, I should have just done the whole thing from the get-go and did it right. So I can understand where he's coming from, but I think he has the enough smart people around him to sit there, especially his parents. Hey, I understand you want to be a starting quarterback. I understand you want to take your opportunity, but you got to think about the long term and not just the immediate future. And you need to get this fixed. So, now with that being said, now do you think the Niners definitely need to bring in a vet quarterback, not to compete with Trey, but to be a backup?
I think they need to, regardless.
Because I think
Even
they might have won it.
Purdy's going to be back or not, I think they need to bring in one.
Yeah, I think they were kind of leaning like drafting a quarterback. To kind of,
I think we need to do both.
Draft and bring one in free agency.
Yes. How many quarterbacks did we go through this year?
Yeah, but that's not going to happen every year.
We can't carry 5 quarterbacks for the rest of our freaking lives.
So
just because we went through 4 in 1 year.
Remember Keltz, and when he put out that little graph and we wrote down how many quarterbacks started and played their seasons under Kyle Shanahan in his offense. 3 years out of the 13 years, 3 years out of the 13 years, he's had a quarterback get through the season without being injured. Essentially, without anybody else taking snaps.
But all quarterbacks get hurt, bro. It just we zero in on Kyle because he's our coach, and we're dealing with our quarterbacks. What's his name? For the Ravens.
Not all quarterbacks get injured.
He didn't play under Kyle Lamar Jackson. He got hurt.
Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. Like, until Russell got hurt this last time, Russell had never been hurt whatsoever and never missed a game. There's lots of people that don't miss games. The people who the quarterbacks that miss games are quarterbacks that are behind shitty offensive lines that get murdered.
Correct. But I don't think it's Kyle's doing.
I mean, Jalen Hurts missed 3 games this season, and he had the best offensive line in football.
Correct. Yeah.
Look, and there's obviously exceptions to the rule, but you've seen other people, do things. This is when it's consistent, and it's not just quarterbacks. If you look at the whole team on an average on up against other teams is higher. And the reason why I'm saying is, look, not only do you need to draft a quarterback, but you need to get a free agent. And the reason being is if anything happens with Trey, injury wise, I don't know, whatever, you got a safety blanket, right? Hopefully, you know what I mean? Like, you could have.
But you're not going to bring 4 quarterbacks into a season, bro. Just not going to happen.
No, but you could bring 3 into a season. Because
they don't want to. They only want to bring in 2.
Who said that?
Keep the 3rd on the practice.
Kyle's always said it.
Yeah, but this is a different time. This is after he went through four quarterbacks and onto a 5th one, which was actually the 3rd one brought back out.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen every year, bro. Come on.
That doesn't mean that he's waiting for it to show its ugly head again and him not being prepared for it. Do you understand that? Like,
so in that case, they should just have 10 quarterbacks just sitting there waiting, Purdy, like college, and
so
you can be prepared.
You draft one, you got a free agent, and then you put another one on the. So
you have Trey, you have Brock, you'll have the draftee, and you'll have.
You might even draft
4.
You might even bring an undrafted free agent quarterback on just for camp. Do you understand that? Just for camp, you're going to need more bodies and arms than just Trey and a drafted quarterback.
Yeah, in camp, you're going to need more bodies than that. Well, camp it doesn't matter because you could have a 90-man roster, so
right?
You have the luxury there.
So why not bring in somebody like Jacoby Brissett, who can be a good, dependable backup or win the competition? Look, I'm not saying that I want to see Trey this and that, but I would like to see Trey compete. I would like to see him have a clear milestone to achieve and get there and beat it. I don't
Yeah, in
want it
other
just to
words,
be
earn it. Don't just get it just by default.
yeah, and I'm not saying that he's gonna like. I'm not saying like he's gonna just like come in and just get it. You know what I mean? And that I just think that he'll be better if there's somebody there who he has to fight tooth and nail with to be better than.
I just think like if they let's say they bring Jacoby Brissett as a free agent, and they'll just go with him, Brock, and Trey. You know what I mean? And then, God forbid, if somebody gets hurt, then they'll bring in a free agent that is on the streets to
Brock's
come
not
in.
seeing
But
the field this year, I don't think, bro. Like if this is
well,
if this is
if that's the case, that's different. If he
Yeah.
doesn't see the field, and then yes,
that's what I'm saying. Like you need to. I don't see Brock making it to training camp, especially now that they have to push it back into March. You know what I'm saying? It's even more or less likely now that he could be ready for training camp.
now the only way he'll miss the whole year is if he has that long-term surgery.
The UCL,
But even if
yes.
he has the surgery he always wanted, not always wanted. Let me rephrase it: the one that he was choosing to go with,
the brace or the UCL. So
that
the
means
brace is the short one.
He might not come into competition, but he can come in as a backup in October.
Well, Tom Pelissero just
somewhere.
put out an update. Tom Pelissero says the best outcome for the so-called internal brace surgery comes once the inflammation is gone and range of motion is back. Delaying surgery doesn't change the timeline much, so this is the prudent course of action to make sure Purdy returns at 100%.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is.
Wait. How does it not change the timeline?
Well, I'm just telling you what they're saying.
No. I got you. I
don't fucking know.
I don't think he was asking you. I think he was asking in general.
Yeah. Because this is what I see, right? So I used to be a student athletic trainer in high school, so I have a letter. I got a letter that can go on a letterman's jacket, so I'm 100% official with this. But the way I see it is like you don't just extend somebody's surgery out and not extend time on the other end. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes no sense.
I mean, the timeline didn't make sense to me to begin with. They were saying 6 months, yet he would be back for training camp, which was 5 months away. So how did that make sense to begin with?
It doesn't make sense. And then like, I don't know, like about a week ago, I was like, I think it's the UCL. I think it's the UCL. And then now that they're saying that they have to go back in because swelling isn't down, I sprained something on my wrist one time by hitting somebody's elbow, and they took a lot of x-rays. And I was in there to make sure I didn't break a bone because it felt like I broke a bone. And the doctor came in, said nothing's broke. He didn't even look at me. Walked past me, said nothing's broke, this and that. And then he comes over, looks at my hand and goes, "Whoa, hey, does this hurt?" Right? He starts feeling in my hand because it's so swollen. There was a part on the x-ray where he couldn't see very well. And he was just saying, "Well, this isn't broken. This isn't broken. So I'm guessing that this isn't here," even though I couldn't see anything. You know what I mean? But there could be, if it was an elbow, you'd see damage all the way around this area, not just one little part of the bone, right? So he's just thinking of what did I miss, right? And he starts palpating, which is poking. And I'm like, no, we're fine. Because if he would, pressed on that, I would have jumped if it was broken. So he realized, okay, it was just swelling. I couldn't see anything. He's just swelling really, really bad. You know what I mean? But that shows you can't see everything in x-rays due to the swelling. So to me, they can't see what's going on in there. And for them to have to push it back, normally they date you, I'm guessing, to the amount of days out that they normally did Brock Purdy, thinking that the swelling would be down, they could continue things. He comes in today, the day before they do to check up, hey, see how things are going, make sure you're along your timeline. They go, oh, hey, we can't do anything tomorrow. You're not progressing very well. To me, it all just points to it's not needing a brace surgery, that it needs a full UCL.
Yeah, something ain't right.
Yeah. Totally.
Platform says people are killing Pelissero right now in his comments for saying he'll still be at camp. And yeah,
Dude.
because it's like if you add up the freaking timeline, it just doesn't make sense for him to be there, especially if you're pushing out the surgery.
Yeah, how do you push it back? But then there's no look, you make payments,
I see
right?
Bradley says March is 1 week away, so if they wait 2 weeks, add 2 weeks into the timeline. But this doesn't even say like a specific day in March. It just says they'll reconvene in early March.
Right.
So then they'll check for swelling again. If it's still swelled, well, then what?
Yeah.
I'm telling
Pelissero, stick to your just announcing stuff. You're not a doctor. Don't try to be a doctor by putting a timeline or not. You're just there to report what you hear. We're not asking for your input. In other words, we just want you to repeat what doctors are saying and so forth.
Especially for him to say all signs continue to point a UCL repair that would have Purdy ready for the 2023 season. That's what he still puts at the end of the tweet. So it's like
that's coming from the team.
That's his opinion. We don't want your opinion.
No, that's
we want
team.
Facts.
That's the team. That's where he gets all the information from. Okay, Brock Purdy can't be out there talking about this right now. Niners would have a fit if he was out here leaking all this information. The Niners are out there telling Tom Pelissero what they want out, and not what they believe, but what they want out in the media. You know what I'm saying?
I want to lose 100 pounds by tomorrow, but ain't shit happening.
Yeah. And if the Niners wanted you to do it, they would probably have everybody calling up right now talking to you about, oh, what are you doing to get the 100 pounds off? Oh, you're doing all this and that. Oh, can we help you? Because they're just trying to make it happen.
Everybody has a solution on how to lose it, but they can't lose it themselves.
I think this is a tactic to put pressure on Brock. I think this is the type of things that we see to put pressure on athletes that might come from not necessarily York or John Lynch, but this could come from other people within the building who are trying to put
saying something indirectly to get your point out. And you're right, Ryan. Like earlier, not to do football, but like LeBron James in basketball said, I'm going to make it my best not to miss. We got to win the rest of our games to make the playoffs. I want to win the playoffs, and I'm not going to do my best not to miss any more games. He wasn't talking about himself. You know who he was talking to indirectly? AD.
Yeah.
He was challenging AD. Dude, you better stop being a little sissy and stop missing games. So I hear what you're saying. A lot of times they do that indirectly to try to push. So they could be pushing Brock and putting Brock in the spot so that Brock can hurry up.
And
hey,
it's unfair.
A lot of these players, unless they're like quarterbacks that are good, you know what I mean? Like good quarterbacks, people who you would expect to be in the MVP conversation, wide receivers that are extremely talented, you know what I mean? That are going to get, make the bag, the bag setters, you know what I mean? The certain high profile athletes, those are the ones that can actually get to the people like the Tom Pelisseros, the Ian Rappaports, the Adam Schefters, and speak their side, right?
Yeah.
Their agents will speak their side sometimes, but I think the teams themselves have the most deafening voice that gets out because they are essentially the league. You know what I mean?
They want to control the narrative.
Well, Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero, they work for the NFL Network, I believe.
You're correct.
And yes, Miriah, we can. So they work for the NFL Network. Guess who's paying their checks? Who do you think their side's snuggling up to? It's the team side. It's in everybody's benefit. The team will give them more news than the certain player will that they're about ready to say something about. There's a lot of things going on. I'm sure I'm sure the agents' views get thrown in as like a contrary argument to certain newses that comes out. But I'm pretty sure that, when it comes down to it, the players always are taking a back seat to what the team wants out there when it comes to some of these sources.
Unless you're Aaron Rodgers.
See, that's why I like Grant Cohn. Like, he's not there to be buddy with you. He's there to ask you questions that he thinks people want to hear, even if they do or not. You know what I'm saying? Even because some things they don't know, they don't know they want to know about. Until you bring it up. Some people aren't smart enough, to know certain things about football. And when you got somebody who's bringing light to certain situations, like look at what Grant said about asking a question to Kyle after Lance got hurt. He said, well, what was it? Why were you running Trey Lance up the middle? He's like, well, I done it this and this and that. He's like, yeah, but this was like a 2nd and 8. This is a prime running down. This wasn't like a 3rd and 7 where they're expecting you to pass and he runs it up the middle and he gets a first down because everybody's, expecting him to throw, past the first down marker. It's those types of questions that make people go, oh, he's got a good point. Why did he do that? Whether they believe Kyle or not, they thought for their own. Sorry. How we want to do the giveaway. Let's see. Let's get out of the pinned. Everybody get ready. You want them to just start doing numbers right now?
Yeah, go ahead and drop your numbers in the chat, 1 through 100. Make sure you're looking at the chat on the screen so that you can see, numbers from all 3 streams so that you're not putting in duplicate numbers.
Go ahead and throw your number in. Go ahead and throw your number in, but immediately look up there. And if you see your number, BA. And if you see your number that you just put in, if you see your number, just put in a different one.
Yep.
Man, there's a lot of 3s already. 3, 13,
and
33,
Dina, there's
38.
already a 33. You'll need a new number.
Dina, you're fired. We were just talking about that. Ooh, Antonio with number 97. You got the Bosa number 17 by Joe E.
Guys, we'll have a couple minutes.
6 Terradome. Free agent quarterbacks. Who do you guys seem interested in? I got a list here I can pull up if you guys want me to read off the list. Derek Carr, Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jimmy Garoppolo, James Garoppolo, Teddy Bridgewater, James G, Daniel Jones, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph. What? Mason Rudolph? Hold up. Is he what kind of is there anybody else? Gino Flacco, Andy Dalton, Mike White, CJ Beathard, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, Lamar Jackson, Blake
Did you
Gabbert.
say Betty White?
Mike White. Sorry.
Oh,
he's the New York Jets.
Quarterback for the Jets. I'm messing with you.
Yep.
Cooper Rush.
Red Rifle. Ooh, look at that. See, if I was Kyle, I would, and I was going into the playoffs, I would have been calling up Fitzmagic, been like, hey, bro, can you just please just sign up with the team and I'll get you the playbook. Like, I just need you to, just in case. Because I think Fitzpatrick could have done something there. He doesn't know when to quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's never in his mind does he think he's lost the game yet, which I'm sorry. I absolutely love in somebody, because if we're down and we're out, that's somebody who I want in charge, because it's infectious. That type of mentality is infectious. And if everybody's believing in it, you've got a way better chance of doing it. Somebody told me one time, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Because if you think you can't, you're not going to be able to do it because you've already failed. You've already given up by thinking that you can't. If you think you can, you're right. You might not do it on the first try. You might not do it on the first 100th try. But you'll eventually get it if you keep trying because you think you can. You know?
I'm sorry, you lost me.
I know.
You don't know
All
about
this
that?
Think you can, think you can, think this can. I don't know.
Whether you think you
I
whether
know
you
I
think you
can. I
can or
know
you
I
can't,
can.
you're right. Yeah. Once you have the doubt in you, it's like cornerbacks, they're so cocky, wide receivers so cocky. But you want them to think they're the best in the league. Why?
Because they're idiots.
No, because the
No, I
confidence
know.
allows
You
them to
want
do
them to be
things.
confident.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Like if you think you can, you're confident, so you will get it achieved.
Who's going to be cocky in winning this round of by picking the right card?
Oh yeah, we pick
Mariota
another.
Everybody
could
got their
fit.
numbers in?
Everybody get the numbers in. I'm gonna go back up to the top.
We can always bring what's the name too from
Oh,
the
who is
Rams.
that? Who is that? They're in trouble.
No throwback. We shouldn't.
Oh, Niner sickness. He's kicked out of the drawing. He's cheating.
Oh, I want one number to hit.
I'm
Shit.
sure you're gonna probably win something if you pair one or two of those together.
Yep.
All right,
Everybody
I don't
got
see
your
any more
numbers in?
coming in, so let's draw.
Good luck, everyone. Appreciate about Miriah doing this. Ooh,
Ooh,
number two.
I think Bryant's the winner. With 3.
Brian, you chose 3? Surprising.
He always
I know
Bryant
that's what
always
yeah.
chooses 3.
Yeah, I
Brian
think
always
one of the
wins.
rappers that I give away, somebody chose 3 before him, so I had to tell him he had to change it. He's like, he changed it for that one round, and then went right back to 3.
Dude,
And he eventually won with 3.
I was there, and somebody was trying to take my 27 because you were.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You were in that one. Somebody did
this
take
is
the
the other-
27.
Beto, this is the other thing. Don't start going for a tweet. 1 to 50, 1 to 50, and then go down to 1 to 20, and then 1
Yeah,
to...
I know. I saw
Just
that
keep it-
afterwards. Yeah, I
I was
know.
like, what is
I know.
going on? Just
Yeah,
throws
I
it.
saw that. I saw that in the rewind, and I'm like, oh shit. I said it so much, I got confused. I didn't even know what it was anymore. I'm like, son of a biscuit.
Congrats, Bryant.
Yeah, congrats.
I'll add it to your box.
Congratulations, Brian.
Yeah. Bryant's got a box.
We're gonna do another one, and we're gonna be giving away Ryan's beanie.
No.
No, he's like, no.
No.
Stink included.
Stinky. Yeah, that's extra.
Yeah, you got to
The
pay
beanie-
extra for that.
Yeah, the beanie's free. You gotta pay for the smell. Congratulations,
Anything
Brian.
else?
Wasn't that Brian the one you have a box waiting to be shipped out to him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy crap!
That's why she said it'll go in your box.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Got you. Freaking Brian,
Yeah.
man! You go rub shoulders with Brian. Go play the lotto.
For real.
That's good. Hey, and he wins with that 3. That's very consistent. That, to your point about the daily thing you said earlier, Ryan, if you keep going with the same number, you're eventually going to win, right? So there you go.
Yeah. No, I think it helps to be consistent. You know what I mean? Because the numbers are always going to be random. So if you're as random with the numbers, it's mathematically your odds are even higher. So if you stay at the same number, your odds are better. Because the random number is going to keep moving around your constant.
If you say so.
Well, if you have 2 variables, it'll make the odds higher. But if you have a constant and a variable, it'll make the the odds lower than just two variables.
You too educated for me, bro. I was too busy chasing girls in school than learning. I was like,
I had
was
my
busy
days running
doing
around.
stuff.
Yeah, I was running around selling dope back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I was doing bad stuff.
well, I was chasing girls because they didn't want me. They were running away from me.
Oh,
That's where I was chasing them. I thought I
Bryant
was a
says
nigga or
3 is
something.
his jersey number.
I could see that. I could see number all the time. Oh, Swan Song in the building.
Hey, Swan.
What is up?
Hey, Swan Song.
Oh, you just missed the drawing. I love this. See, you know when Swan Song comes in, he does his waves.
What's up, 49er Minded? I'm going to be giving this away in this one. You don't mind if I jump in there, Miriah?
Of course not. What's up,
Give-
Bash?
What up?
North
that,
Cal Bill.
that 75th anniversary patch to a lucky winner.
Same
But
way?
we're gonna do a little different. I'm gonna ask
All
a
right.
question. The first person that answers gets to win this patch. So
Get
I don't know
ready.
if I can do. I don't know if I can do the number thing. I'll get lost. I get confused after the third number.
We're not doing numbers, so you
They
cheaters
started throwing
entering
the
your numbers already.
They're on automatic mode. What's up, David Villa?
Hey, David.
Beto, if you want, we can handle the number things. I think we got this down now.
Do you? Okay.
It's up to you, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
You can do the question. Just
I
change
was
it
gonna
up.
ask, what was the last time Ryan took a shower? Can you guys guess? Messing with you, Ryan. You don't want to guess me, man. 'Cause I'm trying to save water.
Days or hours? That's what people should put in the comments. Days or hours?
Dang, bro. I was just talking about hours.
Oh, it was the joke.
Me once a year, so I try to save water. Too much money.
My chones is clean. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right,
Like
we're going south really fast.
I'm actually in the middle of doing laundry too, so you know what I mean. Like I'm you got me on the good day of the week.
There
All
you
right,
go.
chat. Get ready for to answer your question. Everybody, pay attention. Beto's about to ask a question. The first one that gets it right is going to win the 75th anniversary patch. On your marks.
So on your marks, get ready. I'm going to read it out. The first person that gives me an answer will win. I love this book, by the way. Gives you all the trivia.
Don't show your books. Don't show your books because then people can go buy the book and just wait for you to bring it out and get all the answers.
Oh, I know. No, it's all right. But
they can't look it up that fast.
Yeah, I know. They got to know exactly what that page. I always want to do the Super Bowl ones, but I don't know how to read Roman numbers. I'm always getting screwed up on them.
Oh, okay. So the
we don't need a lesson right now. Okay. We're about to ask a question. Because I know a 10-minute lesson's coming.
That's wrong.
Sorry, Ray.
You're good. I did teach my daughter how to add this morning, though, for the first time.
That's shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can read anymore. Oh, shit.
She learned 2 + 2. And then she was amazed when 3 + 1 was the same. And she thought she was so smart. I was like, yeah, you got this.
All right. Are you guys ready? I'll throw a simple one, not too hard. Who is the only 49ers quarterback to have been sacked more than 50 times in a single regular season?
Dang.
Who is the only 49er quarterback to have been sacked more than 50 times in a single regular season.
You know, I was just thinking, Beto, you could have just asked the question, what
We got
number,
Joe Montana in first. Alex
what
Smith,
number is this Roman
John
numeral?
Brody, Young, Garcia,
Nope.
Alex Smith,
Keep writing it down.
Alex Smith,
It wasn't
Kaepernick,
Alex Smith?
Boom. There it is. Kaepernick.
Oh, wow.
Gary, yeah. Congratulations, buddy. Colin Kaepernick was sacked 50 times in a single. That's a lot. In a regular,
that's a lot. Woo.
Yep. For being mobile, you would think that it would not be him. It would be like someone like Alex Smith or But
that's who I was
I thought it was Alex Smith.
But yeah,
like
congratulations
that much.
to Gary. Go ahead and do me a favor. Gary, send me your information to Niners Sickness Podcast at gmail.com. Niners Sickness Podcast at gmail.com. And I'll be glad to send it out to you, brother. I remember our O-line was trash. Yeah. It sure was.
Well, not just that, but when your quarterback's going to run the ball as a runner, they're going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage at times, and that is going to be considered a sack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true that.
It's not like they go, I think he was a runner here. We won't give the guy a sack.
Alex used to get killed in the Singletary days, yeah. That's our offensive line. We had some bad offensive lines. Yeah. Talk about offensive lines. This year wasn't as bad. This year was pretty decent. The fact, I know a lot of people don't like Mike McGlinchey. They want him gone and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you don't know what you have until you don't have it anymore. The grass doesn't always greener on the other side of the fence. So we'll see, because McGlinchey ain't coming back. They're not going to sign him. They're not going to franchise tag him. It's too much money. And is it going to be Daniel Brunskill? Is it going to be a rookie? We're going to find out. For those that always hated out on Mike, I'm not a big fan of Mike, but he's a pretty, he's decent. We're going to find out next season if he was, how good he was.
I'm pretty sure the 49ers, if the 49ers wanted to make a bad decision, keeping Mike McGlinchey is just the type of bad decision that they would think is a good decision. You know what I'm saying? I feel like out of all the bad what the fuck moves, I think that is
they can't afford him though, bro. They wouldn't be able to afford him.
Could you just imagine? Could you imagine the news comes out, right? Ian Rappaport tweets that the 49ers just extended Mike McGlinchey to a 4-year, some absurd millions of dollars. How this freaking fan base will just lose their freaking minds.
Well, I gotta change so many signs. I gotta change this sign. I gotta have to change that sign. I'm gonna have to make another sign up over here. You know, I got chalkboard paint. I got chalkboard paint coming soon. I'm gonna chalkboard paint the back of there, and I'll be able to. There's gonna be what the fucks everywhere. Sorry, Beto.
Yeah, he's probably going to the Bears. The Bears have way too much money to spend, and they're gonna throw money at the bag at him, which he deserves for him.
They O-line help over there, shit.
Yeah, they do. They need a. People. It's funny. People tell me, how can they be 93 million under the cap? I'm like, they have no damn players. That's why. They have no starters. We were there at one time, not 93. Remember when John Lynch and Kyle first took over? We were at about 80 million. We didn't have nobody. Once you start getting good players, you start. I can't wait to see the Rams. I know this is out of topic, but I can't wait to see the shit's going to default the Rams this offseason. Ram fans talking about how almighty, how they're going to be competitive. Beto, we need a hell no. I know, huh? Where is it? I forgot which one it is. Whoa, wrong button.
That was the exact opposite.
Yeah. Hell.
Oh, shit. That one hurt my ear.
Hell no. In the devil's voice.
This This was my favorite.
Oh, hell no.
Ludicrous. That was a little inside joke there. We were talking about the intro, and there's a song that Miriah was talking about, and I said I said Ludacris in Little John voice, and she's like, I love that part. I was like, yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Beto don't know because he listens to country.
Yep. Beto
listens to everything.
Yep, that too. I love all genres. I love country. A lot of people are like, you like country? I'm
I
like,
know,
yeah.
I
I
was so surprised.
also walk a Chihuahua with spikes. They always see this big Latino, with tattoos, walking a little Chihuahua with spikes. They get or a pink tutu on it. That's a real kicker when they see me walking with a pink tutu. I'm like, that's right. This freaking dog thinks she owns the
Steve-O,
house.
who are you fighting with?
I don't know.
He's fighting with himself.
Like,
You know,
all
I
I
had
see is him talking shit to people the entire stream.
Really?
And I've been trying to figure out who he was talking about, making fun of people's
You
names.
60 pounds overweight, but
maybe it was
judging. What the hell is he still doing here?
He was talking about McNiner earlier. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I don't know. I
he
think him and McNine are having a feud. I'm not sure though. I haven't asked anybody.
Well, he's not on my stream.
Put it in the chat.
McNiner is overweight, so can't be talking about him.
Anytime I hate no personal attacks. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. What's up, John Leone? How you doing,
we don't
brother?
put
Welcome.
up with that shit from anybody in the chat. So
yeah, bro, I would have. Yeah, I can't get rid of him because he's not in my chat. But to each his own. Especially if he's been doing it the whole freaking. I haven't been paying attention, but be available for the Raiders to pick up. Oh, John, I thought your name was familiar. One of my good boys, his name is Raider Bear. He's a big, he has a big Raider podcast, and I help him out. Great guy, great dude. Unfortunately, he just picks a dumb team, but great, awesome guy, man. So John is a supporter of the Raider Bear. Welcome, brother.
NorCal Bill says, I was told dad boobs are cool these days.
What was it?
The dad boobs are cool these days. Oh, dad bods. I thought you said dad boobs. Same difference.
Boobs, yeah. Well, like mine are not cool.
Dad bods have boobs, you know?
Dad bods have come around.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Which, hey, whatever's clever.
Bashar's like, you and Mahoney should be, or disappeared, but should be best friends. That's all I read, and it went away.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Because I think you
Steve was fighting with me. Oh, he's fighting with Bashar. And then Steve says, I'm fighting with myself.
Why are we fighting?
I know.
Dog not doing well.
Put some people in timeout.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you're an adult and you got to be put on timeout.
I'm all for talking shit to each other, but you don't got to make it personal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to talk crap, that's fine, go for it. But making it personal. Bless you.
Oh, bro.
Did you just swallow that back in?
What are you talking about?
All I saw is, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
What the? We're messing with you, bro. I'm sorry.
Bro, I sneezed like 5.
You're so high, you don't even care.
6 times in a row. Like, you know
right,
what I mean?
Ryan's
like,
so high, you don't care.
Bro, you know
Pterodome says no longer dad bods. It's father figures.
Oh,
I like that.
Moobs. Man boobs.
At least you guys ain't fighting for Carr. No, but we were fighting for Jimmy G like an idiot a year before, so we know your pain. I seen this. This is one guy on Twitter. I forgot his name, but he's such an advocate for Jimmy G's. Like, oh my God, give it a rest. You guys gonna miss him? No, I'm not.
No.
Niners best in the world. Horoski's in the house. I just put Bashar on. On what? On a stick?
We put Bashar on. Okay. Go ahead, check out 49er Minded's channel on YouTube and
Make sure you
subscribe.
subscribe.
Yes. Bashar, do you
And
have
you'll
a
see plenty
show?
of them.
Bashar, do you have a show happening later this week that you want to put in the chat, and I'll bring it up here as a comment? We'll put you on. We'll put you on all the way. I think all of us have worked with him multiple times, you know, and yeah.
He'll be
Hey,
on my
since we
channel
gone
next
to-
week.
Since we got on 2 hours today, we'll be missing next week. No, just kidding.
We're calling in sick next week.
Yeah, we're calling in sick.
I remember. Look, I remember.
We don't want
looking up-
lectures.
I remember looking up at the 50-minute mark, and then all of a sudden I looked up again. It was at like 1:45. I was like, God damn! Like that just flew by. That last hour just.
We'll miss Jimmy G like
Oh.
you miss a cold sore.
Yeah.
Especially when it's in your ass. Yep.
Ooh. Oh, Beto, how you get one there,
Oh, when you're fat, you get them everywhere.
bro?
It's called herpes when they're in your ass.
Yeah.
Yes, it's called herpes at that point. But hey, no judging. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't care. Judge me all you. Anybody can judge me all they want. Kiss my ass too.
With the herpes.
And with the herpes, that's right.
Hey,
When I was in school, bro, people were like, you know, try to come at me, cap me. I used to cap myself first, throw them off their game. I'll clown myself first, and they're like the mama jokes. I'll make some mama jokes, and they're like, they wouldn't know what to do no more because they'll be like, "Well, shit, you just took all the fun out of it." I'm like, yeah, you know, some people get really offended or they get hurt. You know, I'm like, I don't got time to get offended. You know what I mean? Yeah. People are funny though. They want to start something, and then when you start it back, they get all hurt.
that's the thing. Like, if you can't make fun of yourself, you should not be making jokes. You should not be out there making jokes and trying to be a part of something that you can't take part in.
And if you can't handle jokes made of you, don't. Hold on. I just got a text from the president.
The boss.
I'm gonna take a shower. Oh, okay.
Ooh. Maybe
So get ready, she said.
Yeah.
Oh, I misread it. She said is your show almost over? I'm gonna vacuum the living room.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're
That one
covering
sounded
up
better.
now. You're covering up now. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see
Shower
Jason
and vacuum.
play.
That ain't close.
Yeah. She's probably watching and she's like, he ain't getting a shower now. He just told everybody. He could take a bath by his damn self in the guest bathroom.
She's trying to save me from the show.
Oh.
She's throwing me a lifeline.
Save us from you. Who says
Thank
that?
you, Alberto.
I want Jason Paul so bad. How bad do you want him?
Ooh.
He'd be nasty.
Do you want him to poe you?
Wow.
Him getting into a linebacker with how quick he is and how strong he is. Oh my God. Like,
you would know, huh?
I'm just saying he could probably, just him doing that one move and just clearing out a linebacker the way he can, he could probably add a couple 100 yards to like someone like Elijah Mitchell's rushing yards on the season.
Oh, you're talking football. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's what I come on here for.
You were talking out of experience.
Yeah. I go to other places for the other stuff. I mean, like I don't even.
Don't get me started, bro, because you never invite me back. I'm serious. I get in a row, man. Yeah, I can be an SOB.
Well, maybe we should just wrap it up then.
Yeah.
2 hour mark.
I'm getting
who wants to send us out? Does anybody got anything coming up? You were talking about Miriah. You got a show with Beto, or not Beto, but Bashar next week.
That's
You got
next
anything
week.
next week?
She has
What
something
you got?
tomorrow, right?
Show tomorrow with TL.
Yeah,
420?
TL and Twin tomorrow at 4, and on Saturday, me and Aaron.
Aaron from 49ers First Takes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Beto, what you got going on this week?
I don't know. I just kind of go with the flow, man. Just nothing scheduled. Oh, Thursday. Actually, you're right. Thursday. We're kicking off our first channel, our 49ers. What's the name? Podcast network, where we have all the different podcasters join us and vacuuming the house. You guys can hear it. Yeah. She said, "Screw me." She's cleaning the house. Yeah. So we're doing that on Thursday. So you guys are welcome to join us. It'll be on the main channel and my channel and Brandon's channel. So it's just what we're trying to do is we're trying to have a show every Thursday, whether it's 8 of us, 2 of us, 1 of us, as long as the show goes on every Thursday. Now the beautiful thing of having a different content creators, not everybody has to be obligated every week. They can rotate, so it becomes easier for all the content creators, and we still have a show going. So we're gonna see how that works, and you guys are invited to be part of it if you guys have the availability.
Send the invite. I'll be there.
All right.
I'll schedule you in the Black Book.
Oh, I like it. I feel special.
Oh, I'm only saying that now because the wife can't hear because she's vacuuming.
Oh.
Oh, dang.
Look at
Okay.
that.
Keep
And,
vacuuming.
on Thursday, I've got a show with Lawrence from Platform 246 and Wolfcast, Niner Sickness or Niner
Niner Gang Wolfcast.
Niner Gang Wolfcast. I always mess that. I don't know if he'll be there or not, but we'd probably be streaming on his channel anyways, just to have something going on his channel so he doesn't fall off the algorithms. But yeah. Beto, you want to send us out? Oh.
We're leaving, Sim.
And with that, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight in the chat. And please come back and check us again next week. But Beto here couldn't remember much that he was streaming on. So if you go hit the bell notification, you will get an alert every time he goes live. Same thing with Miriah too. You want to do that. But other than that, thank you very much and have a wonderful week.
Yes, fam. We appreciate